Hello everyone! How are you guys doing today? I am doing good. Today's actually been kind of a crazy day. Because I started my day off, normal mom stuff, getting my kids up for school, taking them to school. And came home, cleaned, did laundry, went to the grocery store, went to, Dollar General. Went to read with a parent day with my youngest son for the last half hour of school, and came home, and then continued my mom duties. And all today, I don't know, I kept having these like words pop into my head, and they weren't even like words in full sentences. They were just like words. And I wasn't gonna do a video today. I was like, well, I'll let my last video cool off a little bit before I bug everybody with another one. And these words, I don't know. They just kept popping in my head all day. It's like it wouldn't stop. So, after I made the kids dinner and stuff, about 6 o'clock, I came in here and I sat down, and it is 11 o'clock where I am now, or where I live. And, no, it was actually probably more around 7 because I made dinner at 6. It was done by 6:30. So it was probably about 7. I came in my little room. It's my sun porch with a window to my kitchen because it was an add-on, and they never took the window out. That's just kind of cool. You can just open the window and holler inside, or somebody can holler out to you. So this is my space. And the kids know that when I'm in here recording, they're not supposed to come in here. But, kids don't listen. Let's just put it that way. And they come in here sometimes. Now I gotta pause the video, restart, or pause the video and then get back into it. So I told my kids I was gonna come in here and work on schoolwork, because I still had some schoolwork to do. And I could not concentrate. And which is really weird because, I love my classes that I do. For right now, I'm taking a lot of CJ classes, criminal justice classes, and they're so interesting, and they're so, so informative that I enjoy it. But I could not concentrate. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take these words and I'm going to write them down on a piece of paper. Maybe they're supposed to be written down for something later, So the words that I wrote down are violated, diminished, tormented, prison, silent, unworthy, childhood, scattered, unbearable, secrecy, trapped, shattered, lost, and nightmares. So I wrote them down, and I set the paper aside. I was like, well, maybe now I'll be able to concentrate on my homework. That was a big negative, because now that I wrote them down, I kept looking over at the paper, and something was telling me to write. I needed to use those words to write something. And I don't know if everybody, who's going to watch my videos believes in God. I believe that, there is a God. There was one point in my life that, probably when I was around 10, that I didn't believe in God. How could a God who is the creator of the world, how could God who created me, who supposedly loved me, put me through all that pain? And so there was a point in my life where, I didn't believe in him. I hated when people would talk about God. I would say things like, oh, God ain't real. People would just kind of look at me like, are you crazy? But I do believe in God now. I've had many, many testaments from God on different things, not even really anything that has to do with this. Well, some of it has to do with this, but just different things. And I don't know. The words just form sentences, and then the sentences, made paragraphs, and it was just flowing out of me like I had this power that just didn't want to stop. And then as I'm writing, out come these scriptures from the Bible. And I was starting to get really weirded out. Like, what does that have to do with any of these words that I named? So to Google I went, because Google is like my best friend for everything. So I went to Google, and I started typing in these bits and pieces of like scriptures that were forming in my brain that I know that I have seen before because I have read the Bible. And I do, like I said, I do believe in God, and I have, went to church. I'm just not really a churchy type person. But you don't have to be a churchy type person to believe in God. You don't have to be a churchy type person to, feel His grace, to feel and to be able to speak His testament and His words. And like I said, I am sorry for anybody who, follows me or watches my videos that doesn't believe in God, and no judgment. I mean, you believe who you believe in. But just because I believe in somebody that, say one of you might not, doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about it. Because I don't let people control me anymore. I don't let people control anything that I do. And the only people that have a say in anything that I do, or that I feel should have a say, would be, my husband and my children. And of course, myself. So, this is called Why Me? And I just wrote this. It's 9 pages long. 9 pages. Like I said, today's just been crazy. So, I'm going to share this with you guys because I am almost 100% positive that this is why, what I was meant to write this for was for my viewers, other survivors, victims who could possibly be watching my YouTube channel or, watching my videos when they're posted on Facebook or Twitter. This is why I do what I do. And that is to bring some sort of healing and comfort in letting victims and survivors know that you're not alone. Because none of us are alone in this fight. So, enough talking about that. Why me? Tormented by a secret. Silent for years. The secrecy becoming unbearable. My childhood shattered. My memories scattered. Why me? Trapped in a life that I didn't choose. God did not create my body to be abused. Living in a prison without bars. And yet my freedom was so far. Why me? Lost all hope and trust because of his lust. Unworthy of love because his perception of me became who I was. I was unworthy of love, even from God above. Praying every day to make it just go away. Yet for a decade, my little body became a grown man's hobby. Why me? My dreams haunting me, teasing me, testing me. Because what I dreamed of was painful and unfair. My freedom would come with the cost of losing a man whose hands once loved me. His little girl, his daughter, his angel face, his baby. With those same hands, he would stroke my hair when I was feeling sad and tell me that he was always gonna be there. Why me? He consumed my life, my body, my soul. He violated me in ways that you don't even know. My life diminished from his power. I was losing all control. It was only a matter of time before I was no longer a girl. The little girl that I used to be was forever gone, never to be seen. I was made into a woman, a housewife. Why me? And it wasn't because of me, but yet he made me feel like I was the one to blame. He made me feel like I wanted it. If I was to take his name in vain, I would be the one having to take all the shame. Why me? The bond we shared would make it seem like he cared. To the world, he seemed like a good father who just really loved his daughter. But behind closed doors, he was a monster. And yet I gave my life to him to catch a glimpse of that man that I knew was within. The man I knew before he unleashed this beast. I was bonded by fear, I was bonded by confusion, and I was bonded by hope. Why me? I had finally given up. I surrendered my heart, I surrendered my body, I surrendered my mind, and I surrendered my soul to the devil. But little did I know, the God that I didn't think loved me because I was unworthy of love was sending two angels, disguised as men, disguised as my father's friends, to save me. To save me from the darkness of the hell that I was living in. Why me? When I arrived to school that morning, I had no intentions of revealing a secret that I had kept for so long. Because it became a part of me. It became a part of who I was. The part of me that made me feel like I didn't belong. The part of me that was ashamed that I had let my own dad take claim of my body. The part of me that was disgusted because I had let it go on for so long. The part of me that was afraid of what people would say about me. The part of me that still loved him as his daughter, even though he took advantage of and abused me every night that I was in his care. That love that I had for my dad was so strong. Why? Why me? I froze with fear when I entered that room. I knew what they wanted from me. But in the back of my mind, I was so relieved to see that somebody finally believed me. I sat in that room contemplating what I was going to do because I wasn't ready to let my dad go away. I wasn't ready to let go. I wasn't ready to say goodbye. I was afraid of what he was going to say. I was afraid that he wouldn't love me the next day. Why me? I just wanted to run. I knew they were not going to go away until they heard what I had to say. When I went into the bathroom to plan my escape, I looked in the mirror and I could see a reflection of that little girl that I used to be. So happy, so confident, so carefree. Nothing like the woman that my dad created in me. I turned to the Lord one last time, begging to just give me a sign. The tears started flowing even harder down my face, and I knew in that moment I was going to be saved by His grace. When you've done everything you can do, God will step in and do what you can't. The Lord stood with me, and He strengthened me. He clothed me in strength and dignity, and I was able to picture my future without fear. Why me? I wish my dad could have been a real man. I wish my dad would have took responsibility for his sins instead of dragging me through this circus of court and lawyers and testimony. And instead of being a man, he tried to make his own daughter out to be the monster. He called me a liar, quoting, "You know I never hurt you. All I did was love you." When I took that stand and I raised my right hand, I swore to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And He did. I took one last look at the man that I would never refer to as Dad. I took a look past a book that had to be placed in front of me so I couldn't see, so I could give my testimony, so I could speak my truth to the jury, to the judge, because that much power He had over me. He had this look in His eyes that I will never forget. A look of sadness, a look of fear, a look of anger, a look of hurt, a look of confusion, a look of betrayal, a look of worthlessness, a look of a man whose heart was just shattered into a million pieces and scattered about for everybody to see. He finally got to feel what I felt all those years of being broken, of being beaten, of being used, of being abused by someone you trusted, someone you loved, someone you would have died for, just to see them happy. Someone who would have loved you unconditionally for any mistake you made in life, except this one. Acts 18:9 and 10 in the Bible say, "Do not be afraid. Keep on speaking. Do not be silent." So powerful. So powerful. And for me to come across this act from the Bible, this testament from the Bible, makes me realize that what I am doing is what I am meant to do. This is the reason that God made me go through what I went through. Because he knew that I was strong, and he knew that he would never give me nothing more than what I could handle. And because of that, I can sit here today and I can share my story with the world. And I can create these wonderful, powerful stories of my life. And people will say, why? Why does she do this? I do it to save children. I do it to possibly save your child. Without awareness of childhood sexual abuse, it's going to continue to keep on happening. And until society steps up and realizes that they need to be educating their children from the moment that they know how to talk of what sexual abuse is, it's going to continue to be happening. It's never going to stop. And so many survivors have yet to even tell their story. And there's millions since I've been born that have been used and abused and molested and taken advantage of just like I was. Maybe not in the same way, but abuse is abuse no matter what form that it comes in. And until people start realizing that this shit is real, it's never gonna stop. And I can't do it alone. All the other survivors speaking on it can't do it alone. We need people in society to step up, start educating yourselves, start educating your children, start educating your brother's kids, your sister's kids, your neighborhood kids, because you never know if one of them is being abused, because perpetrators are so good at hiding what they do. And for those of you who know that abuse is happening and you just want to look the other way, you should be ashamed of yourself. You have no idea what that child is going through. You don't even know. And for you to sit there and tell a child, I don't believe you, to tell a child, keep quiet about it, to tell a child to forget about it, you disgust me. You really do. And anybody who watches this video who has ever known that a kid has been sexually abused and didn't tell anybody about it, I don't even care if you get offended by it. I really don't. Because you know what? You're part of the problem too. And parents, you know, when one parent sexually abuses a child, and you stay with that parent, your significant other who abused your child, or you tell your child there's no way your father or your mother would do that to you, or you tell your child that you don't believe them, you're worthless too. Because that is just sad. That is so sad that a parent would pick another human being over their own flesh and blood. And that is the sad truth. People knew about my abuse. Things were done to try to shed light on it, but people didn't try hard enough. And that is what it comes down to, is people not trying hard enough to save children. If I would have been actually believed and taken seriously when I was 4, when I first came forward with my abuse, I wouldn't have had to live in hell and be abused every day of my life for almost a decade. And I don't put blame on nobody but my abuser. But there's some people in my life that knew what was happening and tried their best, but I feel still to this day that they didn't fight hard enough for me. So I am here to fight. I am here to fight for survivors. I am here to fight for victims of going through it now. I'm here to fight for your children. And it is time that we take a stand, because together we are stronger. Together we can show people that they're not alone. And together we can teach children the warning signs of sexual abuse. Good touch, bad touch. And I am talking 2, 3 years old. The time that they can start to understand things, talk, express what they're going through. Not really express, but, say things like, if you let your child know nobody should ever touch you in your private area, any of your private areas are your own private area, and nobody should ever touch them. And somebody touches them, they're going to know that it's not okay. And I think that schools really need to start pushing sexual awareness more. And I'm not talking just once a year. It needs to happen 2, 3, 4 times a year. Why not every semester? Why not every semester schools start bringing in speakers to talk to children at the school in an assembly? Because you never know who you might save. Thank you for watching this. And if you take offense to my video, I'm sorry. There's probably going to be plenty more to come. So you might not want to subscribe or probably watch. But to everybody who has survived abuse or who is going through it, you're not alone. You're believed. I love you. And I am here to help you in any way. So just shoot me a message, shoot me a comment, and I will be glad to get back to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Peace out.